Everyone's Talking About Jamie is out at UK cinemas and on Amazon Prime to watch right now. And I know that for so many of you, you would love nothing more than to get paid to act, but it can sometimes seem so bloody overwhelming, as in, how the hell do I go from thinking constantly about acting to actually acting for a living? And I know you really want this more than anything, and you're determined to do everything in your power to make this happen. Well, I speak to someone in this episode very similar to yourself. I talk to the actor Zain Al Sarori, who plays Saeed in Everyone's Talking About Jamie, who I also happen to have coached at Standby as well. Now, he shares so much goodness with you that I know is going to inspire you no end. He shares things from how he got started with acting, how he went from an unknown aspiring actor with zero experience to being in such a high profile film, and I just think you are going to absolutely love learning from him. You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious aspiring actors with me. I'm Louise, the founder of Standby Method Acting Studio, and every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid, working, unstoppable actor. Because you can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready?
Hello.
Oh, hang on. Let me just move my screen.
Yeah, I'm a bit too close as well.
No. You're perfect. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm really excited to chat with you.
Yeah, same here.
I've got loads of questions in my little book for you.
Oh, nice.
So I guess the first thing I'm going to start by asking you, because there's lots of people watching this who are aspiring actors who have started off exactly how you started out, you know, probably not really knowing what you're doing. You've got these big ambitions. But what actually made you decide you wanted to be an actor in the first place?
Oh, hello, Kat.
Oh, no.
It started off, obviously, when I was 7. It goes as far as then, to be honest, when watching stuff on TV and even watching soaps from a really young age as well. Stuff like that just made me think, right, I want to do this. But obviously at that age, I didn't really know what it was in terms of career-wise. I just knew it was fun and wanted to do it. And then from 10, picking up my little iPod or whatever it was and making little short videos and putting them on my YouTube that I later on hated. I'm just glad I didn't delete them. So they're still up, some of them are still up there. But,
oh my God, I go and find them.
To be honest, I can't delete them now. It's too late, so they're just up there forever now. And then it went to when I was 13. I did my first acting class. I was there for a year, and then after that, I think it was 14 when I got my first show reel, and that was done down in Stoke-on-Trent, I think it was. And I didn't know what I was doing. When I watch it back, I don't like it, but I'm glad I'm thinking that way because it shows that I've obviously know that I've improved by thinking that, looking at my old work. And then my mum put that on Facebook. I didn't want her to, but she did it anyways. And then her friend messaged her saying, tell him to get in contact with this guy. It was an agent. So I messaged him and he loved the show reel. And then he put me into his agency. So it was from there really where I just knew, right, I need to take this like serious because I'm looking for work at this point. You know what I mean? I need to not mess around now. It's going into a profession. I didn't really know how serious it was going to be. I knew that I wanted to get it to a serious thing. I just didn't know how serious getting an agent meant. But then the audition came in. My first audition was a Cheerio advert. And I couldn't do it because I was doing my mock exam, so I couldn't get time to do that. So I had to skip that. But the next one was with Jamie. So
yeah,
the first ever audition I actually did, technically, was the one I got, luckily.
So, yeah, that's so exciting. Would you say, I mean, I know you're saying like when you were little you didn't really know what you were doing, but would you say deep down you've kind of always been ambitious?
Yeah. It was definitely something I knew that it was, obviously as a young kid, you don't really know. Obviously some people, as a young kid, you say, I want to be this, I want to be that, but you don't really know. But for me, it was always that acting. I want to do this, I want to do what that person's doing on TV. And from then on, it just really kind of graduated into getting a bit more bigger and, you know, into, right, I'm taking this serious now, you know, doing my own work at, you know, at home and stuff, constantly practicing. I didn't really call it practice. I just called it having fun, to be honest, you know, picking up my camera and stuff. But yeah, I knew that it was an ambition of mine that I was strongly passionate about at that age.
I remember when you first came to Samba, you talked about creating your own movies.
Mm. Oh, did
So
I do that as well?
yes, you did.
Oh wow, I didn't remember as well. This is the first pilot episode to a script I'm working on at the minute. And I don't know how much you want me to get into it at the minute, but I've got kind of like my first pitch almost at the end of the year, hopefully. Someone, I'm not going to say who yet, but it's quite a good production company, hopefully, looking at that. And then last year I took the steps of messaging another production company who asked me for a few things like, the first 5 pages of the script. Then I realised in that moment last year, right, this isn't ready yet. I had, obviously what they required, I had most of it, but I thought, right, let's just take a step back, work on it. And now it's a year later and I'm actually focusing on the writing side of it properly. Because at first I didn't want to rush into the writing, but I've been doing that and I'm getting some help from an actor at the minute who's actually helping me to make the perfect pitch because he's someone who's done his own productions and stuff. Even for like Channel 4, that's what I'm kind of aiming this to be. Cause it's like a Yorkshire comedy / drama in a bit. So it's like, he's the perfect person to help me out with this pitch. So he's giving me ideas on, and he didn't expect him to give me as much as he did on tips, but he did, and it was helpful. So that's what I've been working on at the minute. Yeah, so
that's so exciting. And I think what I'm getting from you is that you've always been proactive, even if it's not been something that you've, shouted about. It's like deep down you've been proactive. And that's so important as an actor. Like, even if you're just starting out and you don't believe in yourself fully and you're not quite sure where it's going to go, like, you've got to be so proactive, haven't you?
Yeah. It's like when I was in school, I remember I'd do, I think it was like halfway into school, I remember I was doing a monologue in front of my class and I was getting told, not by well, I'll get into that in a second, but by some students looking at me like, don't do it, you're going to embarrass yourself. And I felt a lot of panic in that moment, anxiety, whatever you'd call it, in that moment. Like, I was nervous, but I still did it because I thought, these feelings are only in my head. These feelings are just in my head. And as long as I don't let them show on the outer shell, then I'll be fine. You know what I mean? That's kind of like a little inspiration in the script as well. It's all about a persona. Do you know what I mean? But obviously in the script, it's shown in a different way, in a negative way. For me, it's more of a positive way, like keep it all locked inside and you'll be fine, whatever you show on the outside, if you show it in a positive way. And because I kept the mindset of that, doing stuff that made me feel uncomfortable, but I still did it. And it's what pushed me to the point I'm at now, pushed me to a point where actually I don't even get that feeling inside much anymore, where I'm shitting myself, basically. It still does pop into place with that, what does happen, but obviously that's going to happen, you're human still. But in idea, when at the start, because I didn't have anything to back me, do you know how some people think, they go, they'll take me serious when I get my first job, they'll take me serious when I get my first job. I think I kind of had that on my head at the same time, but because I didn't think, I'm not going to get my first job, it's going to take too long, I still managed to get to the point of my first job. I'm like, okay, I can take a little breath now, take a little breather. And then I had my second job when I got flew out to Spain for a Fanta commercial. I'm like, oh, this is good. I don't know, movie, Fanta commercial, what's next? TV series. I'm writing my own now. So it's, I'm letting it, now it's just, I'm not doing it for anyone else anymore. I know that mindset of if someone is being negative, do it to prove them wrong. I would keep to that mindset, not anymore now. I think I'm just doing it to prove myself that I can do it now at this point. But I know I can do it, so that's why I'm going for it straight away.
I think that's so important, because I think what holds a lot of aspiring actors back is that fear eats away at them.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important, because obviously, you're in this film, everyone talks about Jamie, which is about a guy who is really needing to overcome this fear to step into who he is. Like, can you talk a bit more about that? Like, what was it like? Because obviously this started off at the theatre, didn't it, before it became a film?
Yeah. Actually, I was, because with this, in terms of this job, I didn't know much about it before I got it. And I still didn't know too much while auditioning, to be honest. But I remember when I was a bit into, well, I'll backtrack a bit. It was 2018. I was going to audition. I didn't end up doing it. My ex wanted me to, and I didn't end up doing it. I'm like, nope, it's not for me. Dancing, singing, whatever, nope. I'm backing up for that. So a year later, I ended up getting an agent who then said, I've got this audition for you. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll have a look at that. So I did, and then I saw the story was so beautiful, especially thinking, wow, this is done in Sheffield as well. And Sheffield to me at that point, sometimes still now it takes me back, I'm thinking, you'd never hear Sheffield anyways, and when you would hear it, you're like, oh my God, they've just said Sheffield and this TV show, whatever. This was fully based in like Sheffield, and even in the film there's scenes from around the corner next to my house. Like I remember trying to see if I could find them. I was too late, but I was thinking, wow, the next right here, and you've got Parsons Cross. I didn't know much about Parsons Cross as well, to be honest, until the film, but it was just
that's where I was brought up.
Was it? Oh,
yes.
Well, there you go. We had a big party on your street.
I know, right?
Yeah, party there. You probably, if you go back now, you could probably still find some confetti on the street from the street party scene. It was everywhere. Yeah.
So that's a nice little council estate for you.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. You wouldn't expect Sheffield to look like that on TV. Like it was supposed to have a bigger cinema release, but I think everyone who was in it, we were all grateful that it got some sort of release, especially with COVID going on. We couldn't really risk it, but we thought it was then when they said Amazon Prime that it was going to only be on Amazon Prime, and we was like, okay, that's good. At least it's still somewhere, and we can watch it forever now. It's on there. But luckily, I was surprised. I looked and it was in cinemas. You know what I mean? It was only limited cinemas it's in, and I'm surprised it's still in some at the minute. But it was like, wow, it's managed to get what it deserved. The cinema release that we were all hoping for. Like Amazon Prime is amazing. However, from the start, we knew it's going to be on the big screen, and we got to see that, and it was amazing to see that.
What is it like, Zane, going from being an unknown actor, an aspiring actor with all these big dreams, to now seeing yourself in the cinema? Obviously, I know you had the premiere because I saw bits and pieces on Instagram. What is that like? Share with everyone what that feels like.
Well, it feels amazing. You just because you just think, I went from filming something on my iPod, thinking I didn't know how far that would go. You know what I mean? I saw myself, I think it's a little bit of manifestation from when I was younger, visioning myself on the TV screen. When you're young, you have this imagination. You have this very wide imagination, and you don't really overthink when you're a kid. Do you know what I mean? You don't really overthink that. You just think, well, I'm going to be there. And I think because I kept that going from when I was young, it's like it's manifested its way on the big screen. I'm like, wow. I might not have been Jamie. I might not have been the teacher, but I was, I'm quite happy with the character I got, and it was amazing because everyone was like a family on set, and it was like an actual year 11 class. And it took me back to hang on a minute. I kept forgetting that not everyone was the same age as me, because I was just leaving year 11 and was obviously playing year 11s. So it was like I had a little extension onto my class. But I forgot that people were older, by quite a bit, to be honest, to say they were supposed to be playing a 16-year-old. It kind of took me back. But yeah, I keep backtracking from what you asked. But yeah, it was amazing to see it on big screen. And the fact I can just open my tablet now, go on Amazon Prime, and just there I am. It's amazing. But
that's so exciting.
Another thing, this is a little manifestation for people who believe it. When I was younger, and I did it all the time, I'll be quick with this because I know you've probably got some questions to ask, but I was saying that when I was younger, I'd search my name on Google. And I'd search my name on Google. And obviously nothing would come up. It'd be some random man from abroad. I'd search it up and I'm like, yep, I don't know any of these. And then obviously as I'd do little videos on YouTube, it would say, did you mean Zayn Al-Sururi, with a little dash in the L and then Sururi? I'm like, when I click on that, and then it would show me. But when I got older and older, searching my name, slowly things would be added. I'm like, okay, it's showing a bit of acting now from like actor databases from the acting class I was in. And then as I've gone on now, I search my name up. I'm on IMDb, and I believe that was a form of manifestation. I still, to this day, keep searching my name up because I don't want to stop at, okay, I've made it this far now, let's not be greedy. Now I keep searching my name up, but it's nothing cocky. It's confidence and manifestation, I believe in. From searching it up, it will build and build and build and build. And that's something you should all do if you believe in it. So
100%. I'm so here for that comment because, firstly, when I was little, we didn't have Google. So what I used to do instead was practice my autograph all the time. And I'd imagine that there were people just like, Louise, you've been in this film, can I get your autograph? And I'd be like, yeah, of course you can. And I'd be writing out to Kate or whoever, love Louise. I constantly do that. And then I constantly visualise myself training at the place that I did end up training at. I visualised myself going to the actor studio in New York. I ended up doing that. So I'm here all day long for visualisation and manifestation. I'm so yeah.
With manifestation, it takes you far. Because from searching my name up, like I said, if you believe in it, do it. Because for me, it has done something. It might not seem massive at the minute, but to me, it's massive because of where I started off with nothing showing up. And the more I've done it, it's building up and building up and building up. And I just love watching it grow. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, at the minute, it's like I'm hoping the next time I search, then maybe I'll be a bit more known for the script writing behalf of it. Do you know what I mean? And I believe that's what happened from the manifestation.
It really does. I'll tell you a little, I know this is not about me, but I'll tell you really quickly. When I did a Midsummer Night's Dream in Dubai, oh my God, people were asking me for my autograph. I was like, this is Louise from Parson Cross in Sheffield. Parson Cross is a really rough council estate and they want my autograph. It does pay off. Yeah. It really does pay off.
It's just like, I'm going to have to sort out an autograph. That'll be another form of manifestation, practicing the autograph for when it's needed. Because I did have one person ask. I was in Sheffield. I don't know if you know some of the bar. Well, you were from Sheffield. I think you had a bar down in Sheffield. Someone did ask for it, and I was like, I weren't really that happy in the moment because I'm thinking my autograph is shit, love. I don't know what you want mine for. It was especially with my last name. I don't know what you want from me with that, but it's very. It just goes on and on and on. It had to go underneath actually, but so I need to sort that out. That'll be good.
Oh, you need to get practicing. That's your challenge. So what was it like then working on a professional film set? Because I guess there's a lot of our viewers who'll be watching this, maybe not now, but they'll be catching up on the replay as well, who imagine themselves, this manifestation thing, imagine themselves being in films with their acting icons, or maybe not even with their acting icons, just getting paid to act, which is what you did. So what was it like waking up each morning and going on the film set?
Well, it was, I remember my first day on set, and because it was quite a magical set, I don't know if you remember one of the scenes, there was Jamie walking on a catwalk when he's in his little dreamland. And that was my first day on set. And I remember thinking, wow. And then I ended up thinking, can we go home? Because I was there knelt behind the catwalk all day with my knees killing until they said action. And I go, oh, finally I can stand up. But it was, it was amazing. And then you learn. I think a lot of the thing is as well, especially when you get your first job, is you panic because you're thinking, what do I need to know? I remember, I think I've still got it somewhere. I don't know where it is. It'll be somewhere on my desk where it was just before Jamie, I think just before I was auditioning. I went on Google to find a little actors alphabet thing, and it went on a list of like all the things you need to know. Never needed a single word in that. They took us all step by step. So if you're thinking about panicking because it's your first job, they'll know it's your first job, and they will understand that, no matter what job you get, they'll care. And it's just like going to any normal job. They don't expect you to know everything at first. That's why they show you, they learn you. They teach, sorry. The director of the film himself, he was also new. There was a lot of new people in the industry there, and it's something that I would suggest, try to remember everyone's there to help you. Everyone's there to create this piece of art together, and they're not going to single anyone out. But yeah, it was amazing for my first day on set. It was just fantastic, and then throughout the whole thing, really, it was just. I don't think it felt real until the rap party. I think for the film, I think that's when it felt real. Cause I'm like, wow, I've not got to wake up at 6 a.m. anymore. So, but it was amazing. Yeah, honestly.
And talk to people about like how long are the filming days? Is it like 12 hours? Is it longer? Because obviously you're saying you're waking up at 6 a.m.
I'm just going to grab some tissue real quick. It's just over there because my nose is a bit
no worries.
funny, but I'll be 1 second. So in regards to like how long the filming days were, It starts. It honestly depends. We had lots. I think there was like 12-hour days. Sometimes I could be wrong, going up to like 14. I don't recall, but it is long days, and it does take a lot of energy out. You know, especially with this film, we was dancing, you know, countless hours, and I weren't fit at all. So it was draining for 1 hour, to be honest. But I had fun, and I didn't see it as a job. And if if acting does really inspire you, you won't see it as a job. You'll see it as fun. Obviously, there will probably be days where you're like, but it happens in every job, no matter how much you love it. There'll be days where you're like trying to get that energy, and a lot of that was because of my fault, because bad sleeping habits. You know, it was. But it was. I'd still find a way to power through the day. But it was really fun. Everyone's, you know, if you're on a good film environment, a good set environment, like I was, everyone gets along. And like I said, they tried to treat us like a class of actual year 11s, I think, you know, to get us into that. You know, but if you're in a good environment, them long days do go quick most times. And so yeah, it was fine, to be honest. It was, unless the days I was tired.
One thing I want to ask you as well is, because obviously you did one of our modules at Standby, and our training is not like other acting classes. It's not just, you turn up and you've got a new script and we'll just rehearse it for 10 minutes and then that's it. You know, we expect discipline from our students, and it's challenging because there's character prep work to do between each class, and you're expected to practice your relaxation every day. So because our training is challenging, do you feel that prepared you for the challenges of being on set and helped you be a bit more disciplined?
Definitely, because when I don't want to name the acting class previous to yours, but there was an acting class that I did go to, and it was, I'm not going to say it was bad. I'm going to say it was bad for me, personally, because they would give you maybe a monologue that day, record it, film it, and then they'll show you it back in a whole group setting, which is fine, but they'll just do quick notes and then move on to the next person. With your module, I found it, even though there was other people there, it felt like a one-on-one anyways. I don't know how to explain that, but it did feel like a one-on-one, and because I do remember what we did actually. It was with my module, there was a character, I think I had to play an 8-year-old kid, didn't I? I think, Hannah.
We did Blue Remembered Hills.
What was that, sorry?
We did Blue Remembered Hills.
Blue Remembered Hill, that was it. I can't remember much of the script, but I do remember when I first did my first acting out of that, I didn't know what to do. I think I was quite stiff. And then because it was quite, we worked hard on that to loosen up and all the exercises, the relaxation method and stuff. I started to relax a bit more, and I found myself by the end of it, I did quite well, to be honest. It was a bit of improvising as well, whilst, looking things to do like an 8-year-old kid, looking everywhere, But it definitely helped me, because I remember before standby method acting, I was quite shit, to be honest. What I mean by that, I was I think I was just very stiff. And I look back at some things I did, like, I'm not even going to compare myself to the videos online from when I was 10, because I'm not expecting myself to be Leonardo DiCaprio at the age of 10. Do you know what I mean? I don't expect that from myself now, to be honest. But it definitely did help me improve a lot. And I remember thinking afterwards, wow, I'm glad I'm looking back at so, because back then, especially, I had some videos of my own that I'd make for myself to, act and watch back. And I'd look back at them and think, I'm so happy I'm looking back at them now and thinking they're crap, because now I know that was my best I could do back then. But now looking at that, thinking it was crap, knowing that I have better I can do now. And now I look back at stuff from even just 2019, thinking I was great back then. Obviously, I was a bit self-conscious of it, like, oh, is it good? Or is it? But looking back now, I'm like, that was crap. I think it was also a journey of finding my own style as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think method acting did help me with that, with the standby method acting, because although it was a character, it was my implement as the actor on that character. And I think it was just finding myself as an actor. And I think I've done that now, because this script I've writing at the moment, it does not feel forced at all. It doesn't, because I'm writing the character for me, one of them, I feel like I just slide right into that and it just works. So yeah, I think it was just a journey of finding out who I am as an actor, and sometimes moving away from the idea. Because when I was younger, sorry if I'm just going on about this a bit too long. When I was younger, it was I'd focus more on the serious side of acting, the drama side of acting. As I've gotten older, I've realised it's comedy that I'm more connected to. But because of all them years of like looking at the drama aspects and stuff, it has stuck with me. So this script is, or this TV series I'm writing at the minute, is also a drama, but mainly a comedy. So I thought I'd put them two together, let the comedy sit on top, but the drama's just there in between. So yeah, that's what I'm writing at the moment.
So it sounds like you've got big ambitions with this, and have you got any other projects coming up as well? Like people, like, are you auditioning for anything at the minute, or are you just you resting as an actor at the minute?
I wouldn't say resting. Well, as an actor, from the acting aspect, I mean, I've only just renewed my spotlight, so I'm waiting on auditions for that. Cause I've got a lovely new agent now. I'm not going to say the last one, however, my new one is lovely. Paula McKee, she's great. Yeah, so I'm waiting on auditions at the minute from her. But however, I'm not expecting anything soon or forcing it, because an actor told me once, you know, so like if you're just waiting for jobs, sometimes it might also be good to try and consider going out there and making your own. And I think that stuck with me, because I also, at this time, I was already writing scripts. I just didn't know where to go with it. And I think because I was looking at working with someone, and I almost did at some point. And I realised, I think I was just I think part of me was like, am I working with them because I don't feel like I could do it on my own, or do I actually want to work with them? Am I not confident alone? And I realised ever since I've been completely working alone again, I have been working every single day on this script. And even on Saturday and Sunday, I thought, I'm going to treat this like a Monday to Friday job. I have Saturday and Sunday off this week. I couldn't. I sat there, and because every second, almost every hour of the day, the script pops in my head at some point, especially when I'm walking out in the street, everything is connecting with what could put in the script, what could be in the script. It was hard to do that. So Saturday and Sunday, I didn't get my rest days. I ended up getting back on the laptop behind me and just getting back to work, you know, putting some money in it, because like I didn't want to spend money on a laptop yet, you know, but I had to. I knew, right, my laptop turns on when it wants to. It's stubborn. I need to buy Final Draft, the script writing program, because I need to start getting used to it before I start going to people. And I've done that. I've done this and that. It's getting, now that I've got the first episode and I'm starting to speak to people about it, I need to start to copyright stuff. It's starting to get to the point now where it is becoming an actual item. The script is becoming an item with itself. And so yeah, at the minute with the acting wise, I'm waiting for jobs. However, at the minute I'm creating my own as well, so that I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. So
I really love that.
Yeah.
That's one thing we really stand for at Standby is, you know, like one of our modules, you haven't done this one, but one of our modules is creating your own work, and they have to market themselves and get it on in a theatre, and they have to invite people in and they write it themselves. I'm so happy that you're doing that, because it could be, yeah, like you could just rest on your laurels, couldn't you? Oh, I've just been in this big film and, you know, I don't really need to do much now. But it's not like that. It's like, it's an effort-based industry. What you put in, you get out.
Yeah, that's like, I'm even trying best to use my contacts at the minute, you know, regardless to like production companies and stuff. So usually I'd think, oh no, I don't want to mess with them, I don't want to bother them. This was a while ago, I think that. But I think as I've grown a bit, I've thought, well, that they're doing the same as me. It's not like me messaging is going to bother them if they like my script. In fact, we're working together and we're making something great together. However, now that I'm starting to use these contacts, things are now coming into frame, into a picture now, and it's great. Although it might still be in the writing stage, you know, I've planned it fully. I know there's still more to add. Sometimes I literally will just go out on my own to find inspiration. And one of the main characters, there's two lead characters. I'm not going to get into like who they are, but one of them's called Mouse and one of them's called Keith. Mouse is the character I wanted to play. It makes more sense about the name when you actually see the actual show. But Keith is a homeless man in the script, and it's an actual homeless man I did meet called Keith, who have similar interests. They're both, like, with the Keith I met, he was actually, I sat with him, just had a cig with him because my train was an hour. I missed my train, so I had to get the next one, which was an hour. So I sat with him for ages and chatted with him. And that inspired quite a majority of the script, just that 1 hour with speaking to this man that I've never met before. And now he's the lead role, so hopefully I can find him again when that comes into play. But yeah, like he told me he was a top chef, with head chef in the kitchen, and I was thinking, wow, this is crazy. And I've added that into this. I don't directly say this guy was a top, head chef, but you see it in scenes with how he is with cooking and stuff. We'd get that hint that he's had some sort of history, the way he designs his food and little details. He's been in the kitchen, at least been in the kitchen working.
I love that you've been out and spoken to people. Like, that's one thing I do with my own acting, and what I encourage our acting students to do is you've got to go out and you've got to speak to people and you've got to find your inspiration, because it's all around you. I love that. I just want to pick up on something you said quickly, and then we'll end with one final question. I wanted to ask you, because you started speaking about, like tapping into your contacts. Do you feel like being in this film now, that has got, it has got a bit of momentum behind it? Do you feel like this has started opening up some doors for you, and it's started to build out your contacts and your networks now, and started to hopefully maybe further down the line bring some more opportunities your way?
Definitely. Like, even just the production company I've messaged at the minute are one that I've worked with from the film. And if I didn't have the film contact, maybe I wouldn't have messaged them directly myself. If I didn't have that film to give me that confident boost that I can make something myself, maybe I wouldn't have got in contact with them myself. However, the film, because it's given me some contacts, and now I'm doing that. And even just as little as, not even just the film, actually, the actor I'm currently messaging, I did a workshop with him for a Channel 4 series I was auditioning with him for, that he actually had written, directed, and was also acting in it, as exactly what I'm trying to do. And I actually messaged him after he thought I got the job, but the last thing was on Channel 4. But from then, I've been asking for advice, and he's been more than happy to help me. Like, when he knew, when even stuff like asking him if he knew if there was any jobs going at the minute, he didn't know, and then he gave me some advice on maybe starting some of my own. And I didn't tell him at this point I was actually writing and stuff, but then he'd give me tips, and he's helped me out a lot. I don't know if he realises how much he's helped me out, but he's even offered to take a look at the picture of me, and I've said I'll send him the script as well while I'm at it. So it's something I'm currently needing to. And I think another thing, when you haven't got in contact with people, sometimes for me personally can make me think, all right, I can take a break here, I can take a break there. Recently it hasn't, even if I haven't got in contact with people, because my mind's just in that work mode at the minute. But when you first get in contact with people, like, okay, now people are relying on me to get this done.
Yeah. So there's some form of accountability then.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I need to get this done. I'm not rushing it. I'm taking my time with it, because I'm not going to let anything slide from this script. It's going to be no missing gaps. The story's going to be there, set in stone, and I want the pitch done correctly. I need to make sure it's made. So I'm not going to rush it. However, I'm hoping by the end of the year I can get that first pitch done. So I've already got, like I said, someone lined up, and then a second production company. Like I said, I emailed a year ago. Going to email them back again, hopefully, seeing where it's going. So I'm not just limiting myself to one production company just in case that becomes a no. But yeah. I
think that's so inspiring, because I think as an aspiring actor, for those who are watching, you have got to be constantly like knocking on doors, because if you don't knock on doors, none are going to open for you.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't matter what capacity you're doing that in, whether it be for an agent, a casting director, auditions, producers, like maybe what you're doing at the minute, you've just got to do it. So I guess let's wrap up then with one final question. If you could give anybody any advice who's wanting to get started with acting, what would be your advice, Zane?
Well, I got my second agent in half an hour. So here's the thing. You might think it's hard to get an agent. You might think it's hard to even get an audition. You might think it's hard to even just believe in yourself. However, if you can, like I said, when I didn't truly believe in myself, I kept that inside. And on the outer shell, I showed the confident, fake it till you make it. And I've stood by that, and it's working for me. It can work for you too. So just keep all the negativity inside until it just evaporates out your body, and don't show that on the outside. When you go into a casting director, when you're going for an audition and stuff, don't think, oh, they're looking down at me. Everyone's exactly the same. You'll get to learn that. I went from being scared of these people who were auditioning to me to having a party with them after a premiere. So I
love it.
So don't think it's scary, because it can be scary. Just don't think they're scary. because they're not. And another thing as well, don't limit yourself. Now, I know dance is not for everyone. It's still not for me, but I enjoyed it. I don't think I'd do it again. However, when I heard about the dancing audition for the film, because I wasn't aware I was going to do that as first, I got told it don't matter if you can't dance. I didn't know that meant we're going to teach you to dance. But don't limit yourself in terms of trusting yourself. If you limit yourself with trust, you're not going to expand on what you can do.
Oh, Zane, I love that. I love that so much. I'm here for this message 24/7. So if people want to keep up with you and they want to, you know, like stay up to date with your scripts that you're currently writing and looking for a producer for and your acting career, where can they find you?
Well, if you just go onto my Instagram, Zain Al Saruri, it's hard to spell it on it, Zane and then ALSAROORI. But if you want to keep it there, I'm not going to post too much about the script at the minute because I want to keep it, because I'm bad with my own secrets, not with anybody else's. I can hold theirs, but mine, just slip it loose. So for now, this is the one thing I've managed to think, right, I'm keeping it to myself for now. However, hopefully, I'm hoping next year is the year for this script to even just take place. And that's what I'm manifesting. Next year will be the year for this script. Something major will happen. So if you want to find out about that and stay tuned for that, go on my Instagram, follow me, and you'll see more about that. Don't expect anything soon. I'll be expecting something soon. I'm hoping that's what.
And of course, you'll be keeping people up to date as well on like any other projects you get as well, any other castings you get in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep posting about that. And you never know, because I'm a big fan of introducing new actors to the. You know, I'm loving the idea of bringing new actors into the industry. You know, new faces, and I'm hoping this script I can bring some new actors in. When it does get set in stone and stuff, and I am looking, you know, for people to do it, you know, depending on how much say I do have on the casting process. But yeah, so you never know, something could happen where I might be asking. So if you want to keep an eye on my Instagram, you'll find some stuff there, hopefully in the upcoming months or something, or maybe even after.
Cool. Zain, thank you so much for giving up your evening to chat with me and to inspire everyone else. I really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I hope it's been inspiring for everybody who's watched and those who are going to catch it on the replay. You know, like I always say, an acting career is doable. Doesn't matter how you get started, where you get started. It really is. And you're just proof that it is.
Yeah. And if you are struggling, if you think you're struggling to get jobs, create your own. It might seem hard. If you focus. When I was 14, I even looked on my old laptop and found a script I wrote in 2017. It was awful, but it was the start of something great. Now, there's probably many TV shows you've seen online, and you'd be shocked to find out it started off as something completely different idea. This script started off as something absolutely just the basic. And don't think, oh, someone's done that before, I can't do it. Do it better.
I think that's the same with acting as well, though, isn't it? Yeah. We all start off in what we think is an okay place, or maybe we don't, maybe we're doubting ourselves, but growth is so important. Like if you keep doing it, you'll keep growing and you'll eventually get to where you need to get to. Well, Zain, I am going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much. I've loved catching up with you again. I will keep an eye out for what you're up to as well.
Thank you very much. I will hopefully see you again soon, especially if I need to get some work done with that. If I need to get some one-on-one lessons, I'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah, cool. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you too. Take care.
You too. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
I have absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, aspiring actors. Now, if you did, I'd really love you to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and leave a review. And if you would like weekly injections of inspiration, you'd like mini method acting challenges to keep you making progress with your dreams, come and join the most supportive acting community online by clicking the link in the notes to help you become an unstoppable actor.